This company kept refusing to give me salary increment for 10 years continuously. This year it has gone too far, they gave increment to all the employees. Except I feel like I've been deliberately sidelined. In anger, I went straight into the boss's office, opening the door without knocking. I asked him why he had never given me an increment in all these years. But the boss didn't even think it necessary to look up. The post of purchasing director is something everyone craves for. How dare you increment do this? I slammed my hand on his desk as soon as I heard it. Whoever wants it can take it. Saying this, I turned away. But before I reached my seat, I saw that the guy from the administrative department bumped into me and went straight into the boss's office. Just an hour later, HR sent a group email. For risk control, the tenure of the purchasing director will not exceed 5 years. Shinawan of purchasing department from today, and the generals of the administrative department will exchange their posts. Then Janong came to me. Shiniwan, the boss has asked us to hand over. Tell me when will it be convenient? Actually, I already knew that this man had met the boss secretly several times. Every time he would thump his chest and say that he was baseless. He will work for a salary and will perform better than me. In simple words, he used to tell the boss that he was taking under the table commission. And the worst part was that the boss didn't care. In his eyes, every person sitting on this post is dishonest. Janong was not asking for salary, so the boss was only saving his expenses. I shook my hand towards my genitals, bracing myself. The purchasing department is a bit complex. I have to organize everything so that there is no problem in the future. But he interrupted me. Chinavan, are you having any problem leaving? You just have to take money and buy the goods. What problem can there be in this? He looked at me with disgust as he said this. If so, let's hand it over right now. I have put it in the current purchasing process. And explained about the main suppliers, but for him it was all in 1 year. I thought it was like taking it out from someone else so that I would not be blamed later. I put it in the drawer. He took out the handover list and gave it to Janong. If everything seemed okay, he could sign it. 2. I will immediately shift to the administrative department. Hearing this, his eyes widened. She lit up, without looking properly. She picked up the pen and signed, then she went back to her. Went to pack the things. I also quickly picked up my luggage and went to the administration. Trentiev went to report to the department. A few days ago, the product manager came to me in a rage. Ever since Janong became the purchasing director, his attitude has been sky high. He changed all the suppliers of our flagship product. Actually, I already knew that. A few days ago, old suppliers came to me crying. He told that Janong was asking him to reduce the price by 20%. He was forcing me to do it, and on top of that he was also demanding 10% personal commission. Otherwise he would have cancelled the orders. It would have been his boss. Bog was about to cry. I just watched helplessly. Janong cancelled all contracts and started dealing with small workshops. I have to admit, the prices had really come down. I tried to convince the product manager. Costs have come down, market competitiveness will increase. In a way, that's a good thing, he laughed bitterly. But the quality is absolutely terrible, I told the boss, and he said, as long as it lasts, it's fine. After all, 10% is saved. Saying this, he sighed and left. I looked at his back and thought, well, that didn't happen to me. But I hadn't even had a chance to take a breather when the receptionist came up to me. News has come from Shi Nguyen purchasing department. That Janong wants to bring back the old maintenance company. I was almost shocked to hear this. At that time, Janong had found that useless company from somewhere within 6 months. Security guards beat customers and cleaning staff stole when the boss. When he came to know about it, he became furious. After all, this mess was in the purchasing department. Was given, and I had selected the best company with a lot of hard work, but the biggest. The problem was that the purchasing department selects, but the management does not manage us. The administrative department has to do it if the people are the same bad people again. If I bring it, then we will have to face the problem. I got up angrily, but the product. I remember the manager's sad face. I stopped myself and told Fifel, strictly follow the evaluation criteria. If there is any problem, please let me know immediately. After some time, the logistics department also came with a complaint. The packing bags were changed. HR also informed that all the recruitment agencies have been changed. This knowledge is amazing. In just a few weeks he changed half the things of the company. If it continues at this speed, the next step will be to change the boss. Then came the month-end meeting. He was the star on stage. The boss praised him in front of everyone. You all should learn from Janong. He just came and changed all the suppliers. This year he will save the company 5 million. The entire hall erupted in applause. Janong gave a speech. But indirectly old employees. But he kept taunting that he only looks after his own benefit. While speaking, his eyes kept turning towards me. Later I heard, he saved 5 million, how much he himself would have eaten. I ignored it. After all, I was the former purchasing director. The meeting ended and the boss happily took everyone to a restaurant. The atmosphere at the dinner was lively, and all eyes were on Zhang. After some time the boss came to me. Shanovan, you must have earned well in these years, right? His tone disgusted me. I replied simply, boss, be direct. He said, the salary hasn't increased in 7 years, yet you stayed. It's not just for the salary, is it? I became furious after hearing this. I've put my heart and soul into this company for 10 years. I've never misappropriated a single penny. Zhang saves 5 million a month. So where did that money go last year? Did some dog eat it? He just laughed and patted me on the shoulder. And he left. I remained silent. The boss only saw savings. Everything I said seemed like an excuse to her, so I quietly went home. Maybe everyone gossiped about me after I left. Janong called me Yuan the billionaire and accused me of taking bribes. According to him, I used to eat 5 to 6 million every year, 50 million in 10 years. 3 months have passed. One day the product manager got angry. Janang crossed all limits. He asked the supplier for an apartment. I was shocked. The supplier boss was clever. He bought the apartment in Janong's name. But he paid only 2 lakhs up front and put the remaining 8 lakhs on loan. As long as the business continues, he will pay the Emmy. If the deal breaks, Janong will be trapped. I was stunned. This is the mastermind. But the real problem was with the product manager. A factory inspection revealed that the new supplier company was completely substandard. Poor quality control, zero worker discipline, smoking near the machine. If the product fails, the blame will fall on the product manager. His face was filled with fear, and now I too began to fear that this fire might reach me too. Today the supplier gives a house, tomorrow someone will give a car, then someone else will give something else. He was getting completely lost in it all. She was really sweet. The so-called Yun the billionaire sitting next to me really knew how to handle the situation, and I was thinking the product manager would be the first one to get caught. But who knew that the HR director would be the first to be called? Very early that morning, the marketing director, with a serious face, called Zhang. Zanning and the rest of his managers were called to the boss's office. Actually, a European client suddenly came to the factory for on-set audit. The staffing agency that brought Janong. She was involved with the director of a fake professional school. They would get students to do cheap work and call it internship. The most shameful thing was that those students had to pay 200 rupees as UN internship fee. And on the same day the client came for inspection and the auditor went straight to them. He immediately suspected that illegal child labor was taking place in the factory and he arrested some workers. It was found that some of the vocational students were as young as 16 years old. And worse than that, they were not even getting their salaries. Hearing this, the auditor became angry. I went crazy. That very evening I received a warning email from Europe saying total suspension. The director of cooperation sales was asked to give an immediate explanation on child labor and exploitation. We crossed the red line of international trade, and on top of that it was called Kun operation. It was called a suspension, but in reality it was a direct boycott. Before leaving, the auditor threatened that he will also send his reports to the local government and European competitors. Sales director, he was shaking with anger. This is our biggest client. 30% of our export orders come from this client. The face had turned black. He shouted at Janong and Janking, I'm going to Europe tomorrow morning. I should go and apologize myself, and both of you should tell me now how all this happened. Janang immediately tried to escape. Mr. Wu, employees' qualifications and payment are HR's job, how would I know? Zhangjing immediately replied, Zhang, what nonsense is this? We pay the agency every month. I followed up with you several times for verification of internals. Weren't you the one handling this case? Zhang said, employee verification is the responsibility of HR. You did not perform your control duties, this is a clearly written fact. Just as Zhangjing was about to answer, the boss stopped her, said with a serious face. I just need a quick solution that will calm the client down. The sales director pressed further, saying, "Give me an action plan now, otherwise you will have to bear all the losses." After thinking for several hours, he devised a plan. First, putting the blame on the third-party agency, saying that it ate up the students' salaries. Second, to explain that this was an isolated incident, which happened when HR was verifying these turns. The sales director then angrily packed up his things and left for Europe. Then the boss glared at Janshing and said, "As an HR head, your job depends on this. Whether or not we can save this client. If the client leaves, you will also leave." Saying this, he signaled everyone to leave. Leaving the meeting, Janning was completely broken, all her pride gone. After everyone left, she caught hold of me and started complaining. "The company is hell, the company you left earlier. She was better than this, I'm in a mess. I might have to look for a job again." I didn't feel like listening to him. I just gave him a little comfort and went back to the administrative department. The product manager followed me and quietly entered the office. It looked completely broken, a disaster in terms of product quality. "I feel like I should resign too," then half-jokingly said. "However, it is not necessary that the next lightning will strike you." He hadn't even finished speaking when a loud shout came from the boss's office. "What nonsense is this? 5 lakh shipping cost, will you pay this money?" There was complete silence outside. The product manager immediately ran out so as not to miss anything. A little while later, Oldley from logistics came out, completely broken. "He's a little clever. But he's reliable at work, and our relationship is good." I was thinking of asking the receptionist to find out a little. But he came to me on his own. As soon as he came inside, he closed the door and started abusing Janong without stopping. In fact, he had already asked Janong to book the container. I had asked for it and had also told the lowest price. But Janong did as he pleased and started looking for other options. Meanwhile, shipping rates suddenly increased due to the Red Sea crisis. By the time he understood, it was too late. Now the quotation I received was double the previous one, and on top of that the shipment was delayed. Then there was a drone attack and all shipping routes were changed. Granted, no one had an empty container anymore. The client was constantly pressuring us for shipment. We were already a week late. If this continued, a 10% penalty would have been imposed and the client would have also slipped away. Ultimately, I was forced to choose air freight. The shipping cost for goods worth 1 million was 5 lakhs, and during this time Janong said to the boss, "Let's wait a little longer, the penalty is only 2 lakhs. It's better than spending 5 lakhs." The boss burst out over the phone. "If I were in front of you, I would have slapped you hard. Do you want to end the contract?" But Jong continued to shift the blame. "It's not my fault, it's external factors," I thought to myself. If the internals make a mistake, it is the fault of the jangling. If the shipping cost increases, it is an external reason. Next time maybe he'll blame the Earth's magnetic field. All in all, every mistake in the world can happen, but Janong can never be wrong. The staffing agency case finally broke open. Both the agency boss and the school director were arrested, and the scandal made local news. Zhening was expelled and Zhonglong was forced to stay there. I had to bring back the old agency I used to work with. The company rehired him. But the European client cancelled the contract altogether. The storm has finally calmed down a bit. The same day the product manager was trying to enter my office again. I stopped him. The first time he came, HR went. "When you came the second time, the logistics were gone. You have come again today, I don't know who will die now." He smiled and said, "Look on the positive side. At least we're both safe now and I have a great gossip." You'll hear me, my eyes lit up when I heard the word gossip. I immediately called him in, and he said, "Remember that supplier I told you about?" I said, "Yes, the one who bought the house for Janong." He said, "Property prices have fallen, from 1 million to 7 lakh. Janong's house is now in loss and has a debt of 1 lakh rupees. But Janong was no less clever. He went straight to the supplier and said, "Buy back the house for 1 million so that he can repay the loan of 8 lakhs and earn 2 lakhs profit on top of that." I asked what the supplier said, and he laughed and said he didn't run a charity. He doesn't earn that much even after working hard all year, I laughed out loud. Alliance made with money. As soon as money starts to wane, relationships start to break down. The product manager further explained that the supplier made a counter offer. Increase the product price by 10%, then we will talk about the house. I asked, and what did Janong do? He said he had no choice, he was just passing the time. Hoping that the supplier would keep paying the Emmy, I started thinking, if only I could see. When Janong told the boss about the 10% price increase, what would have been the boss's face? But now it's not my problem, I'm just a big logistics man. Finally finishing his gossip, the product manager said with a wry smile, "And who will be the next unlucky one? Who will get the jackpot?" "Guess what?" I said, "can't you ever think of anything good for this company? You really think we'll escape this mess?" He said, "I am ready to pack my stuff and leave at any time." I replied, "Don't overreact. Ainge has just been removed from the post and Oldley is still standing. Unless the boss really decides to sacrifice Zahn." We kept talking for a long time, then when the time came for the office to end, we left together. But deep inside I was sure. As the logistics head, this will not be my responsibility. The next scapegoat will be the product manager. After all, product quality was bound to decline due to Zhangong's actions. As I parted ways, I saw the product manager leaving, and I had sympathy for him. But I had no idea what the next blow would be. It's about to fall on me so quickly and without warning. The next morning, as I stepped into the office, the boss immediately called me and started scolding me. He threw a disciplinary report on the table and said, "Extenuant, I know you're angry about being removed. But this does not mean that you should jeopardize the company's operations. I saw the document, the fire safety system is non-compliant. Fine 50,000, immediate production shutdown until correction." The entire production stopped, the blame fell directly on my head, Agira. I was completely in shock. The worst part was that I couldn't understand where the mistake was. Just then Janong came in and said, "Boss, the new fire safety equipment will arrive by this afternoon. I have also used my contacts at the police station. We can resume production after inspection tomorrow." The boss nodded with satisfaction, then stared at me and said, "If Manager Jung hadn't come to handle the situation at the last moment, you would have been able to take this responsibility. A fine of 5,000 rupees will be deducted directly from the bonus of the administrative department. Go thank him in person." Jan gave me a fake smile, her tone full of artificial sympathy. I can understand the manager being upset, it's his money after all. We hope that in future we will not let personal grievances come in the way of company interests. Saying this, he slammed the door and left. The boss also scolded me and sent me out. Go think about your mistake. I came back to the office, my mind was full of questions. I immediately called Feifiel and asked her about the extinguisher. She started crying. Supplier renewal request was sent to purchasing department long ago. But Manager Zhang deliberately stopped her. He used to say that you should come and explain yourself. Now I have started understanding everything. For the past few months, I had to go and report in person for every small purchase. Even buying 2 reams of paper required justification. An 800-word explanation had to be written for an extension board. Then I was angry and I said to Feffel, "From now on, all requests should be sent directly to Janong, and this is what I made the mistake of last month." Extinger's contract was sent and Janong deliberately kept it pending. In anger, I yelled at Feifiel, but in reality, she was just collateral damage. Then I went to HR and said, "Don't deduct 5,000 rupees from any of my team members. I will personally give 5,000 rupees every month for 10 months to the new hour head, who is a man from Zhangyang." He smiled and said, "It seems the manager is financially strong. I understand everything clearly. He was always with Zhangong and must have heard the rumors about me. But at least I didn't get fired like Zhanning, I kept my job." After this I sat at my desk and started analyzing the situation. Zhang had previously handled the administration, and he knew the Extinger case thoroughly. He had also introduced the supplier. It was clear. He, along with the supplier, trapped me. The director was already worried, the deliveries were constantly increasing. Now the production shut down, the penalty was going to increase further. At the same time, emails began pouring in from clients demanding compensation for the delay. Somehow the director handled the matter with his relations and limited it to just a warning. But if this continues, his credibility will be lost. Then the product manager came to me and said, "Don't worry, the boss just wanted to give a lesson. You're safe. If this continues, the next scapegoat will be the director." I remained silent. I thought maybe he was also involved in the genitals, but what happened was beyond my imagination. The next few months were strangely quiet, with Janong Jin bringing supplies from the shoddy workshop. His passing away was a miracle, and yet everything continued without any major issues. In meetings he would stand up and shout, "Some people. Ray is questioning the quality of the suppliers. It's been 6 months, no problem." The boss was clearly supporting him, his past mistakes were completely ignored. Mr. Wu, the sales director, had fought with his boss several times since returning from Europe. He kept demanding the removal of Janong, but the boss was adamant after seeing the 5 million savings. Mr. Wu just kept putting pressure on production and QC. There should be no compromise on quality. Gradually, the product manager also became confused. One day he asked me, "Tell me the truth. Did you really make a lot of money before?" I stared at him. "I personally inspected the suppliers' factories. I am not so low as to use cheap stuff." Actually, I could understand the boss. For him every penny saved was pure profit. My principles became a joke after months went by without an incident. People thought, "This man knows nothing." I was just stuck to my post. I was not able to say anything. All this had become unbearable for me. I used to think every day that I should resign. But if I had left it now, the boss would have thought that I was guilty and running away. Yet the real reason I'm staying put is, that is, I want to see with my own eyes when Zhongyang will explode completely. This thing is stuck in my throat, which I am not able to swallow. There's been a lot of activity in the company lately. There is a rumor everywhere that Zhang will soon be made vice president. The product manager came to me and spilled the beans. From now on, purchasing, logistics and production will all be under Zhang's control. An entire supply chain is being handed over to him, and the director has been sent to marketing and after sales. The product manager's face looked as if he had swallowed a waterfall. Earlier, Zhang always forced him to personally go and approve the substandard material of new suppliers. When Zhang visited factories, it was a complete luxury scene. Young models, private clubs, everything. But when he went, he had to work hard and the blame would also fall on him. The product manager started crying as he said, "This time I really need to send the CVs quickly." I said smilingly, "I am also ready to leave. What is there to be afraid of? A maximum fine of 5,000 rupees per month will be imposed, as it is imposed on me." He said, "It won't go that far, this promotion is still on hold." The director seems unwilling to accept this, and the boss is still confused. After all, the director is the second largest shareholder of the company. Then I made a bet with the product manager. Let's see how long this old player, director, lasts. Hearing this, he smiled bitterly. It won't last long. Rumors have already spread among suppliers. The boss has probably already given his approval secretly. Now all that is needed is the official nomination letter. Lataman, saying this he walked away shaking his head. The next day, very early in the morning, when I was still half asleep in my bed, the boss harassed me by calling me continuously and ordered me to come to his office immediately. I rubbed my eyes and looked at the clock. It was only 6:30. Ever since I was exiled to the administration, I became like an abandoned concubine, as if forgotten in some deserted palace. So that call immediately brought me into a cold sweat. But on thinking about it, I felt that even if he were to fire me, if I wanted, there wouldn't have been so much urgency before breakfast. Finally I got ready and went to the office. As soon as I stepped into the company, I felt a tension that could be cut with a knife. The entire open space was so quiet that even the sound of a fly could be heard. All the department heads were gathered in the meeting room. Even the company's expensive lawyer was present, his face extremely serious. It was clear from the scene that we were in a huge mess. The boss and director sat on chairs of honor, like gods of death. A red international complaint letter was displayed on the projector. I took one look and my breath caught, our parts that were delivered to the final client. Exactly 6 months later, there were massive failures. The final client was furious. He immediately shut down the production line and started dismantling to replace parts. The daily loss was 2,000 euros and our company alone had to pay this huge compensation. My mind raced. Jung had replaced that shady supplier 6 months earlier. At that time, due to this poor quality material, thousands of rupees were spent extra on air freight. Because the port was clogged, so it was dirty. The problem undoubtedly came from Jiang Yang's part. It was, but that bastard Jiang Yang had already attacked. He launched a vigorous attack on production and quality control. How can you guys make so many defective parts? The production head didn't even raise his head. We did a complete analysis overnight. There is absolutely no problem in the production process. The technical director also said, we have opened and checked the parts. The supplier used substandard raw materials. The material which should have lasted for 5 years got exhausted in just 6 months. Hearing this, the boss became furious. Zhang, bring that supplier here immediately. They must pay anyway. Zhang immediately became frightened. He knew full well how unreliable that supplier was, so he panicked and left. He ran away, and the director slammed his hand on the table. Stop all this nonsense. The most important thing right now is to find the right batch of parts. As soon as the right parts arrive, we will expedite production and deliver within a week. Then he looked at me. Chinwen, you know this case best. Contact the supplier immediately, apologize, and handle the situation. Initially I wanted to push the rust further down. But the situation was so bad that if I didn't save the company, so it could have gone bankrupt immediately, I immediately called the supplier. His boss said straight up, we can help. But the price will rise by 10%. I saw Zhang in the corridor. He was wandering restlessly here and there, and I felt like telling him something. But I thought it was already over, so I ignored it. Then I went back to the meeting room and explained the conditions. The final decision is yours. I am now just an administrative employee. I should not interfere in purchasing. The product manager gave me a thumbs up under the table, but the director ignored the boss and said, you take full responsibility for this order, even if you have to kneel down. The supplier needs to start production today. As soon as he finished speaking, I glared at the boss. After all, he was the one who demoted me. His face turned from red to green under the pressure of my gaze. After a long silence, she said, one day, do as I say. I said okay and I left, and after that I worked tirelessly, moving orders forward and speeding up production. There was chaos in the meeting room. The product manager came running and described the scene. The supplier's boss came over and banged his fist on the table, saying, the quality is perfect, you get the same amount as you pay. The lawyer tried to scare him by showing him the contract. But the supplier's boss was behaving like a complete gangster. Worst case scenario, I'll close my shell company tomorrow. Everyone was shocked. The boss's blood pressure increased. He almost fainted. He then scolded Jung for half an hour, and as he was leaving, the supplier delivered the final blow. Now I will take care of your home loan myself. Saying this, he left. The director immediately told him to call the police. Such a traitor cannot be spared, but the boss stopped him. In fact, he was the biggest culprit. If he hadn't given Zhang full control from the beginning, none of this would have happened. Zhang eventually had to return all the illegal money and was expelled like a dog. After this I worked hard for 3 months. Only then did the situation settle down a bit, and the client asked for 20 million rupees in compensation, plus replacement cost and 10% increase. The company lost 30 million rupees for the entire year and had to seek external funding to save the company. One day the product manager came in. Vice President Jigwan, you finally saw the end of the tunnel. Then you said, it's because of the promo director. I said, promotion is promotion, that's it. After this everyone was told. From now on, it will have to depend on Vice President Shinawin. I casually asked him what happened to Janyan, and he laughed and said, he's completely finished. Now no company will hire him. I heard he is doing small jobs in another city. At least he got a free apartment. The product manager made a weird face. You don't know, that apartment is an abandoned project. After this incident, new problems also arose. The investment that saved the company came from Rifang Capital. But capitalists are not philanthropists. As soon as the money arrived, his partner Goli arrived with the audit team and immediately seized the accounts. The boss's condition worsened day by day. His well-groomed hair was now disheveled. Because if a major mistake were proven, he could lose control of the company. One Friday, my boss called me into the office. A few months ago I came to this room to fight with him. And he ignored me and demoted me. But today he came to the door himself. He smiled and offered me tea. I was disgusted by his flattery. He said, "Shinawan, you have worked very hard. If you hadn't brought back the suppliers, the company would have gone bankrupt." I didn't drink the tea, I just held the cup and looked at him. Then he said softly, "The undead is very hard. Loss of 30 million, someone has to take responsibility." I thought Jongyong made a mistake, but the director's contract was also wrong. The client's contract was very harsh. If there were no classes, would we have suffered so much loss? Do you want to strip him down to his last shirt? My heart tightened when I heard this old fox. The boss puts all the blame on the director and wanted to impose responsibility for the loss of 30 million on him. I replied coldly, "Boss, the director did all this to save our biggest foreign client. We cannot gamble the survival of the company." The boss suddenly became angry, a dangerous glint in his eyes. "Shiniwan, you are now the vice president of logistics and supply chain. If you stand up for me at the board meeting next week and say it clearly, that the sales department had put unnecessary delivery pressure on the supply chain, so I guarantee I will double your stock options in your 10 years. I laughed again after hearing that I will give you your pending salary along with interest. I worked hard for so many years but never took even a single penny illegally. But the same man had hinted at a dinner that I was there to take bribes. I have waited for, and now that he is completely trapped, he can take back my money with the same money. I want to buy honesty." I said with a slight but meaningful smile, "Boss, you don't worry. I will report to the board meeting next week, in full accordance with the facts." With that, I got up and left, but that day after work, I didn't go straight home. I went to a quiet tea lounge near the office. As soon as I opened the door of the private room, I saw the director. He was quietly drinking his tea, his face serious. The same man who had made me vice president, we were both in the same boat now. He asked, putting the cup down, "Trying to test you?" I pulled up a chair and sat down and said, "Yes, he promised to give me 10 years salary. But in return he wants a board meeting next week. Let me tell you that the foreign contract you signed." He was wrong, he wants to make you a complete scapegoat. Upon hearing this, the director stood up angrily, banging his hand on the table. "What nonsense is this? That man has no shame at all, when he was supporting the war. Then he was saying that he had changed suppliers and stolen 5 million rupees from the company. And now that everything's messed up he wants to make me a scapegoat." I explained in a calm voice, "Rufan Capital's auditors are very dangerous. When they open their accounts, the truth will be completely revealed. The boss wants to set up a story now, to save his position before the audit report comes out. He wants to make Zhang's mistake seem minor and make you the main culprit." The director's teeth clenched in anger, and I said, tapping my fingers on the table, "Now we have to find strong evidence." Then there was a knock on the door. The product manager walked in quietly, as if sneaking in. He had a thick file in his hand and was nervous. "I've brought everything," he said, sweating profusely. I opened the file and casually flipped through the pages, but the next moment my heart started pounding. These were all old quality reports, everything was clearly written. The material quality of the parts was deliberately reduced, their life was not more than 6 months. Failure could have occurred at any time and the contract could have been broken. And the biggest proof was the clear signatures of the boss. Along with his handwritten note, "Execute according to Zhang's plan with cost priority." The product manager then showed another document. This was the logistics report. During the Red Sea crisis, shipping suddenly increased, with Zhang putting pressure on logistics headhunters. He couldn't book a container for several days, and finally had to use air freight. Due to which the cost increased from 1 lakh rupees to 5 lakh rupees. The approval document also had the boss's clear signature. This was all clear proof. The boss knew everything and was involved in every wrong decision. The director patted the product manager on the back in joy. "You kept these copies hidden," the product manager said with a wry smile. "Vice President Qin Yuan taught me when she transferred to administration." Then he was afraid that the blame might fall on him later. So he had already kept copies of all the documents. I did the same because I knew if something goes wrong, I will be the first one to be made the scapegoat. I carefully collected all the documents and said, this time we will expose him completely in the board meeting. At 10 a.m. on Monday, the atmosphere in the company's meeting room was like a powder keg about to explode. Gonna be the representative of Rufon Capital, Gulen was sitting in front, face absolutely stern boss. He was sitting next to her, trying to look calm, but the sweat on his forehead was. His nervousness was telling. The director was sitting on the other side as if nothing had happened. He was sitting beside him, tapping the table with his fingers, when Gulen broke the silence. The preliminary investigation by the on-date team has been completed in just 6 months. There have been many qualities, from which we have received claims of 20 million. If emergency repairs are also included, the total loss has reached 30 million. I want an explanation from the management. The boss cleared his throat and immediately began speaking. Director, go. This crisis is a bitter lesson for us. The entire responsibility for it lies with the war. He took bribes behind the company's back and colluded with suppliers to compromise on quality. As soon as we found out, we took back all the money from him and gave it to him immediately. Then he stopped and looked at the director with tearful eyes. But on the other hand, our sales department's risk control was very poor. The director is the head of sales. The contracts he signed in Europe had much stricter penalty clauses. Due to this, the loss increased further this time. According to me, the director is also equally responsible for this failure. The whole room froze at this. The boss was staring at me, hoping I would support him. I slowly stood up, holding a black file in my hand. I slammed it down on the table. Director GU, I don't agree with this 30 million matter at all. Then I said loudly, the greed for war and its incompetence are just excuses. The real reason. There is corruption and shameless greed within the management. The boss's face turned pale upon hearing that the company had been hollowed out from within. He slammed his hand on the table and shouted, have you gone mad? What nonsense are you doing standing here? I said louder, call me Vice President Sinuan. I am no longer the employee you used to insult by pointing your finger at me. I am not that fool who will tolerate everything for his small salary. Gulen leaned back with interest. Vice President Signy, please continue. All we need is the truth. I immediately opened my file. The first document was taken out and placed in front of him. Director, go, look carefully. This is a quality warning report from 6 months ago. It clearly states that the parts are high risk and can fail at any time. But what our great boss decided, cost priority, work according to the battle plan. He was fully aware that the quality was poor. Still he approved. Galen saw the boss's signature. His eyebrows furrowed. The boss stammered in fear. I wanted to reduce costs and increase efficiency, and then the director laughed. You didn't know, and he also threw several documents in front of you one after the other. I spread the photocopies of the month of May on the table. Janong hired workers through an illegal agency, hired in black and did not even pay them. For this reason, Europe headquarters blacklisted us directly by email. When this matter broke out, who suppressed it in the meeting room? Who did not say a word to war and vice versa? The HR department's Jianging made the scapegoat. I then presented the expensive air freight invoice. And remember the time when the sea freight warehouse was completely full. All this happened because Zhongyang was obsessed with price comparison to save a few cents. Ultimately we had to take an air flat which increased the cost from 1 lakh rupees to 5 lakh rupees. This man only thought about bribes. He didn't care about anything else, and the boss praised him in the management meeting. He even asked the director to teach him. I looked straight at the boss and said, but the truth is, you never cared about compliance or quality. This loss of 30 million is entirely because of you. You did all this because of your blind greed just to save 5 million. You are the real culprit of this company. You are the one who ruined it. Pushed to the brink of. As soon as I finished these words, there was a deathly silence in the entire meeting room. Only the sound of the boss's heavy breathing was heard. He looked like a fish out of water, desperately trying to speak. But in the face of such strong evidence, not a single word was coming out of his mouth. Gulen carefully reviewed all the documents. Then he slammed them down on the table, pointed his finger at the boss and shouted, "Absolutely brilliant. Brilliant, as a leader every decision you made has helped the company. Has crushed the compliance and written the death warrant for Rui Fan. We invested in a stable business model and management team. But you neither have the right vision nor have you accepted your serious mistakes." Instead, he tried to hide them during the investigation, and the boss was devastated upon hearing this. He ran to Gulen and grabbed her hand. "Mr. Gu, listen to me. I can fix everything," Gulen said, shaking him off. Nothing could be done now. The lawyer standing behind immediately took out a thick file. "We will use our veto right as per the agreement. And invoking the mismanagement clause. Rufan Capital seeks immediate board restructuring." The lawyer read several legal clauses. The gist was simply this. The boss will have to give up most of his shares to cover the losses. To be compensated, and he shall be immediately removed from the management power. He will be left with an honorary position in name only, without. The boss, a dummy president, was blindsided by voting rights. "Are you guys crazy? I built this company with my own hands," the lawyer said coldly. "If you do not sign, Rufan will immediately withdraw his investment. We'll withdraw it and we will initiate the liquidation process in the court. In that case, you will be held personally responsible and you will incur a debt of crores." Gulen looked at her as if she were something worthless. "Save money or lose it all, the choice is yours." The boss collapsed in his chair. As if all his strength had been drained away. In an instant he looked old. He looked at me and the director. I looked at him. His eyes were filled with anger, regret, and deep helplessness. If only he had paid even a little attention to what we said. I wish he hadn't called Jung back. I wish he hadn't skimped on salaries for 10 years. But in the world of business, there is no place for wishing. Finally, under the pressure of Lauer and Gulen, the boss signed the agreement with trembling hands. When the tip of the pen moves on the paper, his voice filled me with satisfaction. Gulen closed the file and said with a slight smile, "We trust both of you for the transition ahead." Mr. Wu and Vice President Jingyuan, I bowed my head and said, "Mr. Gu, I'm just doing my job." Over the next month, the company underwent a major change, and the old boss disappeared completely. The director officially became the CEO and I, fully established as vice president. Now purchasing, logistics, production and administration were all under my control. The position Zhang had been craving was now completely in my hands. That afternoon, the sun shone brightly in the vice president's large office. I stood by the window, watching the cars go by below, which sounded like ants. Then there was a knock on the door. The product manager walked in, 2 coffee cups in hand. I said with a slight smile, "Tell me straight away what's the matter." He said with a smile, "I've come to report. I have completely rechecked the factories of old suppliers. Prices have been normalized. The quality pass rate now reaches 99.9%. Contracts with European clients have also been secured, and we will make a strong comeback this year." I said, sipping my coffee, "Good job this time. But if I ever get such bad suppliers again, I still have nightmares." Then I casually asked, "What happened to Zheng Yang?" He smiled. He was completely finished. The building project in which he had invested the bribe money failed. The bank seized his flat and he was also blacklisted. Now no company is ready to give him a job. He is completely ruined. I turned and looked at the promotion list on my desk. My name was at the top. Shanavan, after 10 years of hard work and frustration, I finally got what I deserved. Now I was in control of this company. Roofing investment had promised. If targets are met this year, the management team will receive 10% stock options in. Orders are increasing rapidly. The company can reach IPO within 3 years, and on that day, I can make about 50 million by selling my shares. I looked out the window at the sun shining brightly. A cold, satisfied smile appeared on my lips. The first people I saw were Yanbanlu. They used to defame me by saying this, tried to humiliate me, but now it's just a joke. I will no longer be Shinawan. I have finally achieved everything on my own with complete honesty. I am what was my right.